Hey, what's up, YouTube? Boswell back with the daily vlog for the husband code. I was just thinking, what are my top five things that I've learned to become a better man? If I had to put the top five things that just over my life thus far that I've learned, what would be those top five things to make me a better man? The first and foremost, and I would say there's no real particular order except this first one, except the very first one, which is I had to take responsibility. And that means for everything in my life. Yes, like I'm born into this world, there's things I can't control, like my environment, the people that I'm, you know, brought up with as far as was raised with, the family that I received. I can't control any of that. But once I became an adult, I can start to make decisions for myself and take full responsibility for my life. I remember growing up, and it may be still prevalent today, but there was a talk around the black community, like especially among men, and I would say kind of weak-minded men, in the sense of, oh, I'm blaming the white man for everything, right? Oh, I can't get this job because of white man. This person don't like me because he white, or I don't know what it is, but it was just always like, man, it's the white man fault that I'm in jail. Whatever it is, right? It's always a white man fault. And I just thought that was just so weak minded. And granted, yeah, are there situations where somebody above you, like a manager or something, he's white and he happened to not like you? Yeah, sure. Are there things in history as far as, through the United States that you can point to say, man, yeah, these white people who are in charge of this situation in my environment kind of like hindered me from, I don't know, getting to a certain position or getting a certain opportunity. There's plenty of that, right? But when you look at where things are now, there's really no excuse. Like, black people are so amazing. We in all positions throughout the United States and life. We everywhere, right? And we're thriving. But I think if you have a small mind state, a mindset, you always gonna point the finger and point the blame off yourself for somebody else, right? So it's one of those things where, like, bro, nobody can save you. Like, you can't be like, hey, I got this situation, I'm going home to get my cousin to help me out. No, ain't nobody there for you. You alone. There's no safety nets in this life. Yeah, some people got their parents, and they can go, if something come up, they can go and live back with their parents, which is not wrong with it if they need it, as long as they got a plan to be like, how can I help myself out of this situation? I just need a little hand up, not a hand out. But yeah, I think taking responsibility, not deflecting blame, and taking ownership of our life is the first step that I had to learn. It was just, especially because I've been gone since 16. I've been out on my own since 16. I've been homeless. Slept out of my car. Shout out to my aunts, because two of them, that let me, sleep on their couch and, crash at their crib for a few weeks. Shout out to my homeboys who was like, nah, bro, you ain't got to sleep in your car. Stay over here for the night. Just catch the couch, right? Shout out to all the women before I was married. Like, I ain't had nowhere to. They was like, nah, I got you, right? So I've been through. I've been almost since 16. But I say all that to say, I never had the victim mentality. I was like, hey, appreciate you looking out, but I can't be here for long because I got to make some shape. Right? I got to get up out of this situation I'm in. And I kept grinding, kept grinding, kept grinding. And like, yeah, I'm not exactly where I want to be, but I'm not homeless, right? I'm still working. Everybody's a work in progress, no matter what level you're on. But I say all to say, you'll never move forward, you'll never grow, and you'll never get rid of the victim mentality if you don't take responsibility for your own life. So I would say that's like the first thing I would give to any man trying to better themselves, any husband trying to better themselves out there, is you gotta take responsibility for any circumstances you in to make things work in your better favor. The second thing is, man, RP to my uncle. Get your house in order. When I never understood this. Like, I used to go to a church, the Baptist church, when I was younger, and my uncle, who was the preacher there, he would always say, church, get your house in order, and I, as a child, I didn't know what that meant, but now as an adult man, I honestly, wholeheartedly know what he means. God first, then you as a man, then your family, wife, whatever. But you gotta have structure and you gotta have order in your life, I guess that's another way to put it. You have to have order in your life, meaning you got to control, your finances. You got to control your relationships. You got to control yourself. You got to lead yourself. And that's getting, this in order, your mind, your heart, your spirit. You got to get your house in order. That's the only way that you're going to be able to, level up in this life. So, that was one thing I can appreciate from, when I was going to church, in the religious aspect, was I always remember that from my uncle is get your house in order. So the third thing, move like a CEO, right? You got to move like a CEO, meaning you got to know that everything around you that move is on you. Meaning, like, okay, if you want this to happen, as far as I don't know, something at your job to happen, like I want to get promoted, it's on you, right? You have to make relationships. You have to do the work. You have to put in the work. Maybe some extra hours. You got to be like, man, if this don't work, it's like you own your own business, right? Just because you work for a company, doesn't mean that you don't move like a CEO. Again, those relationships, putting in the extra hours, doing what's asked, going above and beyond to make it happen. So, yeah, move like a CEO. The next thing is you have to get in shape. This life is a long journey. A lot of people, they don't make it because they're not eating right. They're not hitting the gym. They're not staying active, moving. Again, you ain't got to be no bodybuilder, but you should be at least walking a good amount every day, even if you're at your job. Park further down in the parking space. Get your 10,000 steps. Wear a Fitbit. Wear a smart health watch or whatever. Get your steps in. Make sure you taking your food to work, so you ain't got to eat what they have there, that cafeteria food, or go to a vending machine, or like, dang, I gotta eat out today. You have to get in shape, because again, life is a long journey, and only the strong gonna survive. We see people every day dying because of certain diseases, and there are some things that can run through the family, right? But a lot of it is caused by ourselves, and so you have to be in shape for this journey, because it's a long one if you want to have a good and fruitful and long life, and see your family and your kids grow up with you and stuff like that, and they can depend on you when you need things, when they need things. So, and the last thing is you have to get healed. So a lot of people don't know, and I'm gonna like I said, this is my vlog, man. I'm about to just be personal as much as I can. Again, I know rated R, but I took therapy, and for me not to go too deep into it, because again, maybe I shared it on my Patreon when I created one day. But it was 3 things that I needed to really dive into. And the 3 things I touched on was my mother's death, right? The second thing was a relationship with my father. And the third thing was my childhood. Those were the 3 things that I needed to really like dive deep into. And it was a very hard experience, in a sense of like having to reopen wounds that you might have closed that never really healed properly, to really question your reality of thinking when it comes to relationships. The other thing is, again, it helped you take responsibility for things you like. Well, this happened to me, so this person's to blame, right? So it just helped you really dive deep, really stir up all that trauma you may have inside, and really help you flush it out in a positive way, and to help you heal. So those are my 5 things, that I would say the top things. I'm sure later in life I'll add, maybe I'll move some stuff around, but so far in my life thus far, those have been the top 5 things that's helped me become a better man. And so, yeah, I just want to quickly touch on those 5 things. Drop a comment below. Let me know if there's anything you would add to this list, something that you may move around, take off, or maybe I can do another video just diving deeper into each one, even further. Like the video if this touched you in a certain way, or you was enlightened, or whatever, you just liked it. And share it for somebody that may need to hear this message. So, hey, I appreciate you guys checking in with the daily vlog. It's the Husband Code, Boswell. Again, I appreciate you guys. Again, the channel is growing with views. And so let's keep it coming. I appreciate it. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.